Hello and welcome to today's live broadcast. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my experience as a hypoglycemic and insulin resistant woman and how intermittent fasting has really helped me reverse those two conditions. And I'm also going to be sharing with you how a lot of women in this community have also had the amazing opportunity to do the same for themselves, and hopefully share some information where you can have some insight and maybe reduce some fears about starting something like intermittent fasting or change what it is you're doing in your nutritional lifestyle, because hypoglycemia and insulin resistance really does feel scary, and thinking about doing something different is often the thing that holds us back from even trying. So welcome, my name is Diane, and for the past 25 years I have been helping women find nutritional plans and fitness programs to help them look and feel their best and live their most authentic life. Here in this community, we are in fact doing that through the process of incorporating intermittent fasting and a keto-like lifestyle. Let me take a second to just define what we have created as far as a keto-like lifestyle, and really where I like to teach women about nutrition, and then this is going to segue us into hypoglycemia and insulin resistance. So it's really important to me as a woman and as an aging woman, and then on top of that, a nutritional and health coach for other women, to help you understand that you really need to learn how to nourish your own body. And that a keto-like lifestyle, the way Michael and I have really created it for ourselves and what works for us and how we're sharing it in this community, is just incorporating common sense approach to nutrition. So putting more naturally occurring fats into our lifestyle, really being conscious and careful about how much protein we're consuming in a day, and then being conscious about our carbohydrates, including one ingredient carbohydrates as often as you can. And that really does sum up what a keto-like lifestyle is. And why we came up with this lifestyle approach and really merged it in with intermittent fasting is because of what I discovered when I found out I was pre-diabetic, and how I retraced my steps in my own personal food story and food history, and discovered that I had been suffering from hypoglycemia, which led to insulin resistance, and then ultimately put me into a state of a pre-diabetic condition on my way to being diabetic. And it was because of the way I was following and not thinking about nutrition. And I am guilty of teaching other women to do the same thing. I have been in the health and fitness industry my adult life, my whole adult life. I started teaching group fitness when I was in my early 20s. I started doing it when I was in the Air Force, and then I used it as a means of income while I was putting myself through college. And I taught women how to reduce caloric intake and feed themselves throughout the entire capacity of their day, and then to exercise off any calories that they didn't want to have hanging around, or any calories that they wanted to lose in the form of body weight. And that is exactly how I got myself into this condition of being insulin resistant and ultimately a diabetic. I also have to add in, as full disclosure, that I was a 40-year-old woman when I had my second child, and that is also one of those precursors to becoming diabetic later in life. I took it upon myself to fuel my body as if I was already diabetic when I was pregnant with her, so that I did not become diabetic during my pregnancy. So I also knew that I had that little bonus surprise waiting for me if I wasn't careful about what I was doing as I was going through this aging process. And so hypoglycemia and insulin resistance is that thing that we probably as women are all suffering from, because of the way we have been taught to follow other people when we are trying to lose weight first and foremost, and then hopefully seeking out a healthy lifestyle. But for most women, the ultimate goal is to lose weight or to look a certain way. And I know periods of my life, and I know because I've talked to a lot of you here in this community, we will do just about anything to hit that magic number on the scale that we think we are supposed to weigh. Again, it's another one of those things that has been stirred up that we follow without thinking. Guilty myself. So it was no surprise once I started doing research and I started thinking again and became conscious in my own life that I was exactly in the place I was supposed to be because of the life that I was living and the mindset that I had about how I was supposed to conduct myself in the course of a day to look a certain way. And I ended up sick. Did I achieve those looks? Yeah, absolutely. While I was in that suffering state, in that deprivation state, and really kind of starving myself out and overworking myself. But as soon as I went back to somewhat of a normal lifestyle, then that weight always came back. And that happens to be the case with most women that I talk to here in this community, or most women who end up sick at some point in their aging process. So how does intermittent fasting help us who are suffering from hypoglycemia and insulin resistance? And let me explain how I experience hypoglycemia and insulin resistance, and then you can see if maybe you have some of those signs and signals as well. So hypoglycemia for me was that condition, and I suffered from it from very early on. So elementary school, when I got home from school, I was in tears and shaking, and I wasn't able to gather myself until I had a snack. And that snack, like most young girls back in the 70s, was cookies and milk, right? Or some sort of sugary type of thing that we had as an after school snack. And so then I felt fine, and then I'd go a couple hours, and then I would have to have something else again because I started to get that sugar crash. That describes my entire life as a woman. And then that transitioned into insulin resistance. And that's where it got really scary for me, because insulin resistance, or I went from being hypoglycemic, meaning I had to eat every 2 hours or I was completely falling apart, sort of just an emotional mess, lightheaded, had no energy, would feel like I was going to pass out type of situation, to transitioning into those early stages of insulin resistance where I was losing my mind, couldn't remember anything, depression set in, fat set in, weight set in that now I can't lose. So I had gone from like eating every 2 hours, 100 calories every time I ate throughout the day, working off, counting calories in and calories out, to this insulin resistant state where I was also having to manage my hypoglycemia, eating every 2 hours, but it was also forcing me into the state of sugar was now killing me. My mind was going, my energy was going, I was feeling depressed, I couldn't lose weight. So I did the only thing that I knew how to do, which was eat every 2 hours, restrict my calories, and work out some more, because something was wrong, and it must have been me because I wasn't working out hard enough or long enough. Then when I did the research, I realized that what I really needed to do to get rid of this hypoglycemic condition and this insulin resistant condition was to drain my body, not fill it. And that's where timing really does benefit us as women if we're suffering from these sugar conditioned bodies. Putting yourself into that intermittent fasted state, meaning you're going to pick a period of time where you get yourself in a position where you're no longer going through these hypoglycemic bouts. So you can get through 3 hours without needing to eat and 4 hours without needing to eat. And next thing you know, you're getting through a 20-hour fasting period and you no longer need to eat because you've just broken that curse of that dependency that your body has on needing a new sugar burst, a new way for your body to be energized as a quick fix in that short term. And it does, it goes in those 2-hour increments. When you get to that point where you can go hours without needing to eat and you feel energized, that's when you know you are no longer in that hypoglycemic condition, because your body is not depending on a new sugar event to happen in order for you to get through the next 2-hour period. What eventually happens with time and consistency is you can actually reverse that insulin resistance type of situation where you can get your insulin to actually react to your body in the way that it's supposed to, the way it's designed to. And remember, insulin is that hormone that is often balancing out or imbalancing other hormones as well. And so you can actually reverse those signs and signals. There's a new phenomenon out, and I know a lot of you have heard about it, and it's, the whole third diabetic state that we have to now look forward to as hypoglycemic, insulin resistant, pre-diabetic, diabetic women. The final stage of this whole sugar dilemma for us as women is Alzheimer's and dementia. We now know how connected and what a series of events that are taking place in our body and where we're going to end up. We have to realize that we do not need to depend on these feedings as if we're infants anymore. We are grown-up women who can go through a period of time in our day and not need a sugar fix. And when I say sugar, I don't mean that you have to go out and eat a candy bar or you have to go out and have your cookies and milk. Anytime you put something into your body, it creates an opportunity for an insulin reaction to happen in your body. As soon as you have that insulin reaction to you putting something in your body, you just had, in a sense, a sugar fix. And your body has now created that new dependency that as soon as that insulin starts to drop off and that glucose and glycogen starts to drop off, you're going to need a new fix. So we have to treat it just as we would any other chemical type of dependency, knowing that the foods that we're putting into our body are chemicals and that those chemicals cause a chemical reaction. Limit the chemical reaction and then we can balance out our hormones. So intermittent fasting is really creating such an amazing opportunity for so many women who are on this sugar dependency type of lifestyle or this insulin dependency type of lifestyle where we're slowly breaking ourselves down. Don't fear it. I strongly recommend and encourage women to embrace this and give this a chance. Hypoglycemia for me was really like life altering. Like I could not leave my house without packing something to eat to get me through the next couple of hours. My family knew when I started to go on a sugar low that they needed to find the nearest convenience store and get me my fix. Like it is literally like a drug addiction. And the only way to break a drug addiction is to limit or reduce or completely get rid of what it is that is causing you that dependency. This is where intermittent fasting is playing such a huge role in so many women's lives. You just cut out everything for a certain period of your time, let your body reset its hormone balance naturally to whatever your hormone balance needs to be, and then when you open up your feasting window, you incorporate keto-like foods, naturally occurring high quality fats, moderate to low amounts of protein, and as many one ingredient carbohydrates as you possibly can. Before you know it, you're running on overdrive. You're running off your own body's chemistry. You don't have the 3 o'clock afternoon energy drop. You don't have that panic 2 hours, since your last meal when you're digging in your desk drawer at work, or you're running to a vending machine, or you're having your family emergency pull into a convenience store to get mama her fix. You don't have to live your life that way anymore. You don't have to worry about what insulin resistance is going to do to you down the road as you start to age, and is it going to break your mind, and is it going to break your body, or are you going to live your life so frustrated because you're living it in a gym, or you're super self-conscious about food, or you're super self-conscious about your body and you can't live in the present state. It's a really easy fix in concept, but it can be a really scary thing for a lot of women mentally and emotionally, because it does, this whole intermittent fasting and changing the way we're supplying our body with nutrition goes against what many of us have been taught, or what many of us have taught others for our adult life. And what used to work for us doesn't make sense to not work for us today, but I can tell you it's not working. And the bigger truth to that is it never worked. We just had youth on our side, and we had balanced hormones on our side. That was the only reason why those things worked back then. But in theory, they shouldn't have even worked then. And what happens is that theory starts to catch up with us, and then they definitely aren't working for us today. So intermittent fasting is the thing that can reverse all of these negative things that we're having going on in our life, and that when we create that mindset around not being dependent on something, and that we can actually thrive in a state without being a slave to food or snacks or snack bags, then we know that we can survive in just about any kind of environment, right? We know that hypoglycemia is not going to be that thing that we have to fear anymore. We know that we can do the things to offset future ailments that could creep up for us because we're letting our body do its thing. 20 hours is an amazing window for us women who are feeling these negative side effects of hormonal imbalance. It is that window of time where we're giving our body an opportunity to just reset. I know it's scary. I was there. But I can tell you, when you have something that knocks you off your feet, when you get news from a doctor that could potentially alter the rest of your life, it shocks you into considering some new things. I had that experience. I had my life feel like, oh my gosh, I can't become a diabetic. I can't manage all of those things. I don't want to manage all of those things. How can I stop this in its tracks? And you have to be proactive about it. You have to do the research. You have to want to have a different lifestyle. And you have to consider some new things. I always like to say, if what you're currently doing is not working for you, then you should question it. And you should question it pretty hard, because a lot of us ending up sick should be questioned. Why is it that women all around the world in this stage or season of life are all ending up in this same exact situation? The stories don't differ very much, but the conditions are all the same. So we should start questioning why it is that we're still living this lifestyle that is putting us in this position of being sick, and is there a better opportunity for us? And yes, there is. Intermittent fasting. You can do intermittent fasting very easily as soon as you change your mindset about what it is that you're doing and how it is that you're living your life, and you put the fear of what's in your future if you don't change as the bigger fear than the possibility of trying something new. Don't be afraid. It's super easy. You just have to do the research. You just have to experiment a little bit and then take the power back. Know what foods are going to allow you the opportunity to look and feel your best. Know the foods that are going to allow you to age successfully. There is no such thing as bad food. Stop thinking of food as being a bad thing. There's only going to be foods that you happen upon and you put into your body that are going to not be a good chemical match for you. You've got to figure out what those foods are, and then you eliminate them or you minimize them in your everyday life. I'm always really surprised with how many women come to me so frustrated because they're eating clean. And you know what? You can't find a clear definition of what clean eating is. So we need to stop taking a lot of those labels away of how it is we think we're living our lives, because when I thought I was quote unquote clean eating, I was living a very diabetic lifestyle. So redefine how you're going to feed yourself, redefine how you want to live the course of your day, and then take fear out of the equation and start thinking again about what really makes sense. And I bet you'll be really surprised and really happy that you put yourself in that position of being empowered and thinking about what it is that you want for your life. Living in that conscious state is the best place to live, and the changes that you'll get from that are going to be so rewarding, and you'll have this great sense of optimism as you're moving forward in your everyday life. And that's really what we're looking for here. So I appreciate you guys being here. I hope that takes some of the fear away from some of you who are like thinking there's no possible way you can go 20 hours without food when you can barely go 2 hours. I get it. I was that girl. Like I said, I would come home in tears from school when I was in elementary school, and that didn't change for me my entire adult life until I started incorporating intermittent fasting. Now I'm at 21 hours in a fasted state right now. I worked out today. I'm thriving. I feel fantastic. My mindset is great. I have great mental clarity, and I have tons of energy. That comes from a girl who couldn't go 2 hours without eating food. So I hope I'm giving you some courage and erasing some of those fears and giving you some power back about how it is that you can do this for yourself as well. So let me go in here and welcome everyone who is here and answer any questions. And I also want to say I do apologize to my YouTube people. I don't know what happened on Monday. Our volume on our playback was really low. I totally apologize for that. That happens sometimes. There's nothing I can do about it. You always know that there are 2 places that you can catch these rebroadcasts. You can catch them on Facebook or you can catch them on YouTube. So always feel free to check another location if for some reason something didn't upload correctly, but I do apologize. And you can always catch that on Facebook if you want at a later time. And then if you're on our email list, we will be sending you a good volume link to Monday's video where I talked about busting 4 myths about intermittent fasting. So we'll make sure we get you guys the replay on our email, right, Michael?
Yep, that's right.
All right, cool. Okay, so let me check who's here today and answer any questions or comments. Amy, you're here. It's always good to see you. I was not identified as insulin resistant, but I believe I would have been if I hadn't started IF when I did my lifestyles of IF. Yeah, Amy, you probably would have, because we just have that thing in our family about sugar and diabetes and all those kind of things. So I always say stop it in its tracks before it becomes a problem. And especially stop it in its tracks before you own the title. So I did not want to own the title of being diabetic. Did not want to own it. I also did not want to own the title of anything that was going on in my body autoimmune disorder wise as well. I think there's something happens to us when we take on ownership to something that's bothering us or failing us or is problematic to our overall health and well-being, and I just refuse to take ownership of those things. So I stopped that thing in its tracks. So you have the power and the opportunity to stop things in their tracks before they become a problem for you, and intermittent fasting seems to be that thing for sure. So Amy, I'm super happy for you. We're changing the course of our genetics in our family for sure, proving that you do not have to end up being diabetic as you grow older for sure. Diane from Pennsylvania is here. Teresa, I used to keep a snack in my purse because I would get lightheaded and nauseous if I didn't eat often enough. It was a miserable feeling. Yeah, I agree. Not anymore. Intermittent fasting broke that dependent. September 2018 grad. Yeah, I was the same way. I always had snack bags. I had snacks in my car. I had an insulated lunch box that I would take with me everywhere. Literally, my family would drive into a convenience store and buy me a protein bar or something that I could snack on so that my blood sugar levels would come back up and I would stop being hangry and nasty. And that's a horrible way to live for sure. It's almost like an imprisonment type of thing. So Teresa, I'm super happy you no longer have to carry snacks around with you. Jane is here. Good to have you, girlfriend. Donna from June class. Been loving IF. I used to have the crashing feeling. Now I don't since IF. From the class I have lost 16 pounds. Love the IF lifestyle. Well, there you go, Donna. And it's probably because you're not constantly living that snacker lifestyle. So congratulations for you. The sign of weight loss means that you are actually achieving that hormonal balance that we are looking for. Remember, you can't lose weight until your body's balanced out. So I'm super happy for you, and I love that you're thriving in your new lifestyle. Melania, IF, I know that IF is the only way after going through things. Yeah, for sure, girlfriend. Julie's here. Tracy, hi from doing the keto diet and lost weight. I'm doing the keto diet and lost weight. Yeah, I think that's great. There are some people who absolutely thrive following the full-blown ketogenic diet, and I absolutely think that that's amazing. And that's a choice, right? So we're choosing to fuel our bodies in a certain way. I've tried it by the book, the way it's designed, and I'm not a happy person that way. Michael's tried it. He's not a happy person that way either. And so I think the key to success and living around food and being happy with the lifestyle that you're living is find where you're most authentic and then thrive in that space. So I'm always super happy when people find their thing and they're thriving there for sure. So Tracy, I'm super excited for you. Chris from Oregon is here. Bonnie, I'm in your September class, eating high sugar, carbs, things I would get very anxious feeling after consuming sugars. I don't have those feelings anymore. Also have a start of a rash. Not sure what caused that, but feeling so good on the IF and 1 meal a day. Yeah, Bonnie, there's a thing called a keto rash. It doesn't have to do with the ketogenic diet. It just is something that happens when your body sort of detoxifies and is releasing a lot of things that have been trapped up in your system. It goes away. So just drink lots of water and just take care of yourself, and it'll be gone before you know it. Melania, Diane, I'm wondering if you ever take a day off or weekends from daily IF. Yeah, I don't completely ever take a day off. That would mean I would constantly be eating, and I don't ever want to put myself in that place again. But now that Michael and I are both healed, meaning we have no, problems medically that we're dealing with. I'm a woman, so I'm never 100% happy with my physique, but I'm really happy, content with where I'm at right now with my physique. So I don't really do anything to any extremes. We're a little bit more flexible. We're going to teach a lot of this in our graduates course that's coming up about what we do in our everyday life, because we don't have anything that we have to deal with, and we're super informed about what makes us look and feel good and what doesn't. So we're just striving to be healthy, and we are striving to be happy. And we have found a nice rhythm for that. I will always fast at least 12 to 14 hours because I just don't snack like I used to, and I don't have those couch things that I eat all the time, and I don't wake up first thing in the morning and put food in my body. So I will always be in some form of a fasted state, and I always make sure that the foods that I eat make me look and feel my best. And so I guess I always live this lifestyle. I just don't always live it by really tight parameters. I hope that helps. Sandy, hello from hot and sunny Florida, May 2018 grad, loving this lifestyle. Good for you, girlfriend. Enjoy that sun. Evelyn, I would like to join your class. Okay, awesome. So there are links in the description box that you can click, and you'll get on my email list. If you go to my website, fortodaysagingwoman.com, there's an online course. Just click on that, and that'll help you get signed up for sure. I have diabetes and autoimmune disease and much more. Oh, girl, we got you covered. You have to do the work though, so I don't tell you what to do, I teach you. And then it's up to you to make sure that you put the work in and do all the research and find your lifestyle that's going to best suit you. But the diabetes can be definitely reversed. The autoimmune diseases, you'll notice a definite relief from any signs and signals that is sending you, and then all of those things piled up just make everything else feel better for you too. So I would love to have you for sure. Just go to fortodaysagingwoman.com and look for the online course, and you'll be able to get more information there. Okay, let's see what we have over here on YouTube. And Michael, I can't get comments.
Hit the chat.
Where's it at?
Live chat right there. Go underneath the video. Live chat.
I don't see it.
Live chat right here.
Oh, there we go. Okay. My lovely assistant is helping me. I used to be able to just see it automatically. I don't know why it went away. Thanks, Michael. Okay, Norma, I'm in your September class, enjoying the experience. Awesome, girlfriend Leanne. You have taught me so much. I've learned just how toxic my body is. Thank you. No, how toxic your body was. And your body's not toxic. Remember that. Your body is not toxic. The things you put into your body are causing a toxic reaction. So those are those things that we have to be really careful about how we take ownership of, right? So get rid of the toxins in your body. Then your body will just go back to feeling great. But your body's not toxic. It's just the things that you're putting in it might be. So you can fix that super easy. Jen, IF and keto-like diet have quickly reversed my pre-diabetes. Fantastic. I just discovered you via the Needy Homesteader. Love all your videos. Very informative. Oh, well, awesome. Well, the Needy Homesteader, thank you so much. And I'm super excited that you have reversed your pre-diabetic state. So now you can work on some of those other things. Remember, they all stack up, right? Hypoglycemia, insulin resistance, pre-diabetes, diabetes, and then we end up with all those brain diseases and stuff that are linked to all that. So I'm super excited. You won't have to deal with that, hopefully. And then Devon, looking forward to the mindset program coming up soon. Still trying to achieve a consistent 20-hour fasting window. 18 hours are easy enough, but I get in my own way, bumping up to 20 hours regularly. Yeah, mindset for sure is the only thing that's keeping you from that 20 hours. You're scared of how it's going to feel. And the only difference between 18 and 20 hours is a better feeling. It's not a worse feeling, it's a better feeling. So some tips and tricks I have about going from 18 to 20 is don't watch the clock. Just don't watch the clock and just pick a time that you end your fast, and before you know it, you'll be doing that, and we will work on that in the mindset course for sure. Christy, I'm excited I finally caught you live currently in your September class. Your course has been the best investment to my health. Can't say thank you enough. Christy, just live a lifestyle that keeps you healthy. That's the thank you I need. And then make sure that the women or the other people in your life can benefit from your experience. And that's another great way to thank me as well. We want to start creating this community and environment and world of healthy people. And so I'm super excited that you have chosen to be with us, and I'm super proud of you for doing the work. Judith, hello. Shannon in the September course and loving it. Thank you. You're super welcome, Shannon. Susie, June 2019 grad. I've been listening to my body, so I fast between 16 and 18 hours a day. During my feasting, I will eat what I am in the mood for. I find that it helps me feel satisfied. Sometimes one meal, sometimes 2 or 3. That's the key right there, girlfriend, is finding your groove. 20 hours is really proving to be that time frame that we need to have to reverse insulin resistance, to reverse hypoglycemia, to reverse the diabetic states that we end up in. Then finding your groove of what makes you feel most best naturally most of the time is exactly where you're supposed to end up. So I'm glad that you're finding that for yourself, and I'm super excited that it's working for you. Donna, so glad I caught you live. We're glad you're here with us as well. Sylvia, good evening from the Netherlands. So happy to have you with us from the Netherlands. Girlfriend, Netherlands. Judith, hi again from Fort Lauderdale. I started last March with 205 pounds, IF and low carb, high fat. Now 146 pounds and trying to go 100% keto. Thank you for spreading your knowledge and experience for the good of others. Girlfriend, you are super welcome. And remember, do your research on the ketogenic diet. And the thing that a lot of people find frustrating about it is, in my opinion, you're either keto or you're keto-like, right? And so make sure that that's a lifestyle that you can handle for the long term, so you don't create the mindset that you just failed at something. So set your own boundaries. Don't follow it to the T. It feels like it's something that's not going to be a lifelong thing for you. So you build in some flexibility and you put your own personality and lifestyle into it, and then don't call it the keto diet. Call it the way you eat. And that builds in some flexibility for you and keeps you from feeling like you're either on it or you're off of it. And that will help you be sustainable for sure. Kelly, currently in your September class, feeling really good and enjoying the process, learning lots of great info. I've lost those really strong sugar cravings, which is huge for me. Yes, girlfriend, that is totally huge. And that is that thing, the sugar craving is also that thing that makes us feel like we need to have more emotionally and mentally. So it's all connected, physical, mental, and emotional. So the cravings is a big thing. And I'm super excited for you. Let's see. Dina in September class, love it. Still working on listening to my body and stop when I'm satisfied and not keep eating because I still have time left in my feasting window. Get past is enough if I feel satisfied. Yeah, for sure. That's a big thing, is that it's just that reconditioning of our brain, right? Like, we're afraid we're not getting enough calories, or I have 4 hours in my feasting window. Should I eat the entire 4 hours? You have to really listen to the signs and signals that your body's sending you. And what really clicked for me on the how much should I eat or when should I eat thing was my experience as a runner. And I was training for a half marathon. And one day I came back and I was looking at my Fitbit or whatever I was wearing at the time. And I said, oh my gosh, Michael, like, I ran a couple miles at like a 7:30 pace. Can my Fitbit be right? And he said to me, well, when you run a 10-mile pace, do you believe that it's right then? And I was like, yeah. So then why don't you believe that you just ran a 7:30 pace mile? And so this is where I made that connection and drew from that into this experience with fasting and hunger. If my body feels satisfied and I continue to eat, that's an overeating experience. I just overfed my body, and overfeeding your body will result in you not being happy with those end results. If I trust my body and when it's satisfied I stop eating, that's listening to those signs and signals. If I'm hungry and I go, oh, I'm hungry, I should eat, and I've always eaten when I was hungry, that's the same sort of trust that you have with your body, right? So you don't ever question if you're hungry and if you should eat. Why do we question when we're full and if we've eaten enough? So it's a mindset thing. So if you feel satisfied and you're in your feasting window, go with the sense and the sensation of being satisfied, and know that your body's intelligent enough to tell you that you've had enough to eat, and just move about your day. And if your feasting window closes, then you have to shut it off, and you just have to keep that training principle going until you trust those signs and signals. So trust what those things are telling you, and then don't question it when it's in your favor, for sure. So I hope that was a good analogy of the miles thing. Oh, it always draws me back to that experience, for sure. Helen, good morning from Aussie land. Dina, hi from Colorado Springs, Deanna, sorry. March 2018 course, September 2018 F3 course. What about a teaspoon of coconut sugar in my eating window? I don't know what about means. Like, do you need a sugar boost or something? I personally would never put direct sugar like that into my body. I don't know why you would be doing that. So I would probably need a little bit more information to answer that correctly for you. Lori, my sister is a diabetic. When her hunger gets low, when her sugar gets low, she gets shaky and scared. Then she eats something sweet. Where should she start? Lori, I would have her follow some of these videos for sure. And if she can, I would have her jump into our course, because we gently walk you through this process of intermittent fasting and getting yourself off that dependency. And I feel for her, because I was the same exact way. Lightheaded, shaky, can't think, super emotional, and then you get a fix and then you feel fine. It is really, really a dependency to a drug. And we need to identify that and kind of accept that, and then know that there's just a way that you can deplete your dependency and get yourself into a better place. So I would have her just follow us here, and she can reach out to me for sure. If she has any questions, I can help her. Lori, should she consult her doctor before starting IF? Yes and no. I can't give doctor advice. I'm not a doctor. But I know what most doctors are going to say. They're going to put her on insulin, which is the problem already. So they're going to double up her problem. If she's already on prescription medication for diabetes, then I would say incorporating this along with that would probably be the best way to go. But her doctor most likely will tell her to be on insulin, or to continue with her insulin, and that's going to make her problem even worse, and she's going to get sicker as she ages. So have her do her research, and then take the information from her doctor and take the information from her research, and then you put those two together and you make an informed decision where you feel like the benefits are going to outweigh the risks, for sure. Dinah, current September class, progressing steadily. That's all we ask for, girlfriend, just progress steadily. Lynn, I have a gastric surgery, so any suggestions on trying to do intermittent fasting? My sugar drop a lot at the end of the day when I don't eat a lot. Yeah, that's because you're still having gastric bypass surgery doesn't really have anything to do with the sugar dependency, I don't believe. You've just shrunken the size of your stomach. So intermittent fasting would probably be really beneficial for you once you get your hormones balanced out. So it's really a hormonal issue when you have the sugar crashes, for sure. Kim from Arizona, welcome, girlfriend. Christine from Berkeley, graduate of the February class, grateful for your wise and loving coaching. You're welcome. Janine, in September class, amazing fasting 20 to 22 hours without an issue, loving this lifestyle. Girl, you're winning it for sure. 20 to 22 hours is optimal for really giving your body an opportunity to reset itself. So I'm super proud of you. Congratulations, and keep fasting, girl. Carmen, I've been fasting 20 hours for months. I am still losing weight. Still, will there come a time when the body will stop losing? Yeah, for sure. You know, and that's where I really encourage flexibility with this lifestyle. So I don't ever think I'll for me personally, will ever be at a place where I'm afraid of losing too much weight, because we have built in that flexibility. So I'm not, you know, doing anything in extremes. So I would say if your body's still losing weight, then it's still comfortable letting go of something that it doesn't need. If you feel like it's going past what you feel comfortable with, or maybe you're not liking the way your body looks at a certain stage of this process, then you just incorporate more feasting, or maybe cut down your fasting a little bit. But it doesn't mean you have to completely stop fasting. I would just adjust until you find a nice set point for you. October makes 1 year, and I've been your student. I know, girlfriend. I know where you are. I know who you are. London, hello. Susie, I have the keto rash. I thought it was a detergent based. How long for it to go away? Why does it happen? Do I need to undo something? No, it's just a change in your hormones. Just make sure that you're, you know, not putting anything on it that's going to irritate it. Drink lots and lots of water, so you're wanting to flush out what's ever coming out of your skin. So a lot of the skin conditions that we have are because of what we're putting in and on our body. So something's coming out of you, and what you want to do is let it come out. So you don't want to stop it. You don't want to put topical things on it. Let it run its course. Drink lots of water, get lots of good sleep, and then don't drastically change anything, because that'll stop the detox process. So it's working. You just have to get through it, and then I would do a little research on it and see if there's any other advice that you can get. I never went through the keto rash situation at all, but I know many people have suffered from it. So it's just a thing that happens, and I would say be grateful for it. Something's happening, and that's a good sign. Sylvia, I'm 3 months doing keto, have done a 16-day water fast in July, doing IF since then, lost 10 kilograms, maintaining for 6 weeks already, BMI, good for you. I say, you know, that's fantastic, and you're finding your way too. I am not an extreme anything, so like I think the longest fast I've done is, what did I do?
Like
40 something hours, I think, of just straight water fasting. I'm miserable. Like, I don't enjoy it at all. And what I'm finding with my glucose and ketone testing is I can get to the same place with my glucose and my ketones doing other things. So if you're a person who thrives in extended day water fasting, thrive on. If you're a person who finds that it's absolutely miserable to go consecutive amounts of days and you only drink water, don't worry, there's other ways. The ultimate goal is to get your body into ketosis. And there's different ways that you can make that happen. So I'm super excited that you're thriving there, Sylvia. And I say, fast on, girl. Detoxifying Emily, fasting 16-8 and losing 4 pounds a week. If I change to 24, will I lose more or just gain health benefits? I don't know. I would say give it a try, see what happens. You know, everybody's body reacts differently, and if you're losing at 16-8, then I think that's fantastic. If 20 hours is just going to give you more opportunity in a fasted state, which is going to allow more opportunities for ketones to be produced, and so that's always a good thing. And yes, that will help you get to a more healing state for sure. But try it and see if it works, and you might find that you love it, and you might find that you don't like it at all. Kim, don't feed full was best advice for feasting in my window. Yeah, never feed a full body. That is overeating. So if your body is sending you signs and signals that you're satisfied, trust the signs and signals for sure. Deanna, you're welcome. Leanne, the sugar addiction is real. It can't be normal to eat a huge dessert and want more and not feel full. IF has totally fixed that for me. Yes, so remember, fat is satiating and sugar is craving. So the more fat you have in your body, the more your body will feel satiated. The more sugar you have in your body, the more your body will create more, or crave more sugar. So you want to make sure that you're putting the right amounts of things in your body. Also, if you're living a high carbohydrate lifestyle and you're practicing intermittent fasting, it's really hard to get through a fasted state. So pay attention to what you're doing in your feasting window. If you're suffering in a fasted state, it's usually because of what you're feasting on. It has nothing to do with the fasting process at all. Christine, here's a question. After I eat keto-like, I have an energy drop and spaciness and I want some sugar. But now doing lots of almond butter. Why this? I don't know. Sometimes that happens to us too. We'll notice it, like we'll break our fast and we're like, oh, we feel kind of tired. I always try to just retrace my steps. Oftentimes what I correlate that to is I haven't been on my water game. So it's more that I'm actually dehydrated than it is what I'm doing when I break my fast. And then again, pay attention to what you're breaking your fast on. Oftentimes people go into a huge break fast meal and you have that blood sugar just change on you very drastically. So ease into your fasted state and see if that helps. Also, make sure you're managing how much water you're drinking, and then make sure that what you're feasting on is going to sustain you and not drop you down. And just because you're eating keto-like doesn't mean those are the right things for you or the things that are going to make you feel better when you break your fast. So pay attention to all of those things for sure. Marianne, let's see, September 2019 class, love the course, and somehow the timing of the subjects is just spot on. Yeah, girlfriend, you're super welcome. That's because I'm like you guys. I know what to talk about. And then Jennifer, I'm loving this class. I happened upon you when I was listening to men teach IF, and I'm thriving now in this lifestyle. Yeah, it's so different. It's so different for men and women, and that's because our hormones are different. And so we have to really be open to trying some new things. I always love listening to men talk about this lifestyle, and I have some great takeaways from that, and I always experiment with the information. And so experiment for sure, but oftentimes what works for them doesn't work for us. I sit next to my husband all day, every day, and we are pretty similar in the way we eat. We're pretty similar in the way we exercise, and we're completely different in our results. So that just goes to show you that men and women are different. And so take advice from people who are walking in your shoes, and then always question and always test things out on your own body for sure. And then Trini, can we do anything about the keto body odor? You mean like the breath and the ketones coming out. So when you first start transitioning into a fat burning type of lifestyle, let's kind of get away from that keto word. So when your body's producing ketones, the thing that comes out of you is actually the excess, or I guess, like, I don't want to say toxins because that would be a negative thing, but like it's just the excess coming out of your body. What I have found personally for me is the more consistent I am with this lifestyle over a period of time, the less evident that odor is. And so what it is just a process of your body being more efficient at utilizing ketones and not having so much excess that's secreting out of your body. So I know it freaks out a lot of people when I say this, but I've changed the way I use things in my body that cover up my natural body odor, right? So I don't stink anymore. The toxins that come out of my body are just very natural. So I very infrequently use deodorant. I don't need it. I work out. I don't reek. I sweat. I don't use toothpaste the way I used to because I don't have bacteria in my mouth. And so I don't have a lot of those toxic odors coming out of my body. It is a process that you have to go through. Time and consistency will allow your body to transition and then go back to just emitting natural body odors. The more you cover things up too, the more you're creating that toxic type of chemical environment on your body, and you're not allowing it to do what nature designed it to do. So the more things you put on to cover up who you are naturally, the more problems you're going to have with emitting those toxins for sure. And then Sailing Florida, I fast 3 days a week, only water all my adult life, and weigh exactly what I did in college 20 years later. It worked for me. Yeah, girlfriend, I say go for that too. There are people who can thrive in a water-only environment. I say, I love it. How simple your life must be. I cannot do it. It's just not my personality. It's not my body chemistry. I love food. Food is a big part of our family dynamic. And the thought of just having water in our family, for me, for a period of time is not worth it. The only exception to that philosophy and mindset that I have is, and I share this here all the time, if I were ever to be delivered the news that I have some sort of cancer type of situation in my body, I will be on the next plane to a water-only fasting clinic, and I will fast on water and minerals only until I can cure my own body. So if you work in that environment well, I say go for it. If you don't, there are other ways that you can also take advantage of this lifestyle as well. Let me see if there's anything else here on Facebook, and then we got to go. We have a cross-country meet to go to today. Shelly in Kansas City, loving this, lost 6 pounds and finally hitting ketosis daily. Yes, that's the best thing ever. When you can connect the lifestyle that you've created and the feelings you have to a result that you can measure, girl, it's the best feeling ever. So congratulations. I'm super excited for you. That is the best feeling ever. Okay, we are going to head out of here. If you are a woman who is suffering from hypoglycemia or insulin resistance or some of those things that are happening to us and breaking us down slowly because of what we've done to our body in relation to sugar and hormones being completely out of balance, I get you. There's a better way. Look into intermittent fasting, do some research, hang out here with us. We talk about it all the time. There's a better way to live, and you do not have to be a slave to those addictions and those highs and lows of what the sugar lifestyle will do for you. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me. I'm here for you. And then Michael and I will be joining you guys live on Friday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we'll talk about something that we're doing in this community as our aging lifestyle as well. See you guys on Friday.